Hey, this morning when I was waking up, I was thinking about having to weed in the garden and how it kind of correlated to your positive and negative thoughts. I was kind of thinking, well, your positive thoughts are the tomato plants, the corn, all the crops that you're trying to grow, and your negative thoughts are like the weeds, or in my garden, a lot of the crabgrass. Those are the weeds, and you need to eliminate the weeds or the negative thoughts from your mind. And I kind of was thinking, well, that's what we're doing with the garden. We have the positive, the plants we're trying to grow, and the negative, the weeds are trying to take over. So I just kind of thought that was an interesting thought. As I wake up, that's when I get a lot of my um, inspiring thoughts, and I try to remember them until I get fully awake. This time I did, and um, what I'll probably do is I'll turn the camera around and kind of talk about, getting rid of my negative thoughts as I'm pulling a weed, associating it with some negative thought that I'm trying to eliminate. So let me pause this video and I'll turn around and I kind of show what I'm doing on my weeding. Well, here's some I did yesterday. I got rid of some of the negative thoughts or weeds, and with it being raining, it makes it nice to think, okay, here's a negative thought, and I see this one I pulled. I didn't get many roots, and that's kind of what I'm thinking is as you're pulling your weed or getting rid of your negative thoughts. So I got roots on that one. If you don't get rid of the roots on your thoughts, they're just going to grow back, and I just it's one of those things where you've got to get rid of the thoughts as well. See, I got that negative thought, and that one won't come back. I just think of a negative thought that I'm having, and then pull the weed. So it's kind of interesting that I kind of thought about that, and nobody really said anything. And like here's one of my beet plants, and then here is the negative thought I pulled out. Look at all those roots I pulled out. So that thought, and I just throw it down and take all your thoughts that were negative and pile them up, and they'll all die out. So that's kind of what I was thinking of here, and you can see I got a lot of negative thoughts to get rid of here for the garden. The garden doesn't like all those weeds because it kind of detracts from the growth. I don't know if anybody else thinks about that the same way. I just happen to think about that where I pull. Nice thing about when it's all wet, they pull easy, or if it's dried out. So we're getting all these weeds are coming up with just an easy pull. I'm thinking your mind is open to pulling them when the ground is wet, or when your mind is thinking about getting rid of those thoughts, and you just don't think about them. You start replacing with a positive thought. I know the inside event that I just went through has been really good. Changes the way you think. See, there's more bad stuff that won't come back. Sometimes they're a little stubborn. Sometimes you get a big thought that you didn't know was so big. There it is. I lay them down with the roots so they can't grow back. Here's some more of them. So I'm going to end this video right now and keep getting rid of my garden's bad thoughts and some of mine with it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I mean, something to think about when you're weeding. It's not just a chore to get the weeds out. I'm just thinking it's getting rid of all these negative thoughts. And you can see I have a lot of thoughts over here I need to get rid of, or weeds. So thanks for watching. That was just kind of a thought I had in my head and had to get it on film. Yeah, just a couple more thoughts here on gardening and how it kind of represents life. I planted this this sweet potato plant the same time as I planted all the rest of them, and look at how well those sweet potatoes are doing. Some of them doing really big, some of them aren't. And as I was pulling the weeds, or what I'm thinking is bad thoughts, around it, I discovered this seed that had been planted a while back is now starting to grow. So it's going to produce some sweet potatoes, or whatever, however you want to look at it. But this is another one that was a slow starter, but it did start. And as you can see, I got a big pile of leaves, or grass that I pulled, and this was all solid full of bad thoughts or weeds. It's actually a grass, but it just keeps spreading and spreading. So I'm able to get them. I got some more to do, but I'm pretty much done for the day. I like to take no more than about an hour to pull weeds, just because it's a lot of work. But if you do a little bit every day, consistently work, it'll eventually get all done. And you can see this one here that I pulled out. That kind of looks like it represents multiple bad thoughts just growing and growing and growing into a big old pile. So I'll pile up all these the grass and that I pulled out, the weeds, and they'll all die off and not even start back again because I got the roots. Thanks for watching, and check back later. I'll have more ideas on how gardening can change your life, the way you're thinking as you're doing your gardening.